Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing very, very well. I love entertaining. I love having friends at our table and sharing with them a beautiful, memorable evening. My husband says our motto is party, party. I'm not so sure about that, but we really do love to entertain, whether it's a casual garden dinner or a gracious event at a formal table. We want our friends to feel special, to feel as though they've come to an evening of being treated as though they're kings and queens. But at the same time, we want to be able to have fun. As the hostess, I want to do as little work on the night and as much enjoying of my friends. So here are the secrets we've learned over the years to how to do just that. Tip number one is always wear black to your dinner party. I don't know if you're like me, but I am a klutz at the best of times. I'm a number 2 class spiller. My husband is a number 1 class. So together we're a frightful team. And at the beginning of the dinner party, we're both a little bit, excited, a little nervous. So I'm much more prone to spill on myself. And I've learned the number 1 defense to protect myself from my klutziness is to wear that chic, elegant color, black. It protects me against myself, and no one needs to know the real reason you're wearing black. That is secret number 1. In advance, make sure that you've asked every guest about their specific allergies or health concerns that would prevent them from eating something that you might have on your menu. And jot those notes down in your contacts in your phone. I have certainly been guilty of making the mistake of forgetting an allergy. And oh my goodness, you feel so desperately remiss on the night. You never want to make your guests feel as though you've forgotten that little detail about them. So prepare. My husband and I will have a little moment to think about topics of conversation that would be of interest for the people that we've invited on that particular night. We may together to remind ourselves of a cute little fun story that we recently heard, or a favorite new wine or a new restaurant that we discovered. Something for when there's the inevitable pause in the dinner table conversation. It's a great way to spark everybody and create some interest. We really need to be positive in these difficult times. So planning ahead with a couple of little stories makes it just that much more easy. Have you ever had a dinner party or an event, cocktail party maybe, of some kind where you know for sure that very few people know each other on the night? We have. And our concern was, how would we get people to connect? How would we get people chatting? So we've come up with this little game, maybe you've used it yourself, that encourages people to seek out and find a little someone. Here's how it works. We put a special little fact about each of our guests on a piece of paper, fold it up and pop it into a bowl. When each of our guests arrive at the front door, once we've taken their coats or whatever, we ask them to pull a piece of paper from that bowl, open it up and keep it to themselves. Their job during the cocktail hour before we sit to dinner is to find the person that matches the fact on that piece of paper. So, for example, one evening we had as our little fact, this person has had dinner with a king. That's quite a fun little thing. And they had to go around and chat with everybody at the party and discover who was it that has once had dinner with a king. It's a great way to raise the level of conversation and the buzz, and we hope make people have a great time from the very beginning. All right, now let's say it's time to go to the table. Have you ever been to a dinner party where you had that really awkward moment? You weren't sure where to sit. You weren't sure if you were supposed to sit with your husband or partner, or you weren't supposed to sit with your husband. It's kind of that awkward dance at the table. I have, and I always find I'm not really comfortable. It makes me feel particularly awkward. So when you come to our table, we've decided to help people out a little bit. Everyone is really good at finding their own name, we've found. And so we started using these little erasable name cards. They're made out of porcelain, and there is a pen that comes with them, an erasable pen. You put someone's name on it, you put it at the top of their plate. Everyone can find their name. It means that you were able to be thoughtful about who sits next to whom, because you really want everyone to be happy and hopefully sitting next to someone with whom they have something in common. These are really easy. I bought them easily 10 years ago from Sur la Table, but I'll find them online. I know they still exist because a friend of mine recently put them on her table, and I was so pleased to see them. They're wonderful. They're a great investment. I think you're doing your guests a favor when you give them guidance. And you know, if they don't want to sit there, they can always do a little name tag swap. We know it happens at weddings all the time. But we love to help people find that perfect, comfortable spot at the table next to their name. By now, you're probably wondering, is she ever going to talk about the food? Yeah, here we go. I'm finally going to talk about the food. I have a few guidelines for my food. It always needs to be fresh, with the most delicious, beautiful ingredients as possible. And it has to be as simple as possible. For me, a dinner party is not the time to try out some incredibly difficult, complicated recipe. I save that for Valentine's Day when it's just me and my husband. If I goof on the flambe and set the house on fire, it doesn't matter. It's just the two of us. He'll understand. But if it's a dinner party, I want everything to go seamlessly. I want everyone to think I am the calmest hostess they've ever seen. We all know I'm not, but we want them to pretend on the night that that's how I felt. So here's what I do. I do as much preparation in advance as possible, and I make myself a promise that I will only have one course that requires last-minute preparation. Now, when I say one course, it's not as though I'm serving a 6-course meal. Not at all. I tend to do a starter, a main, and a dessert. And often the starter is a salad, because we all know that's super easy. I've usually done the dessert in advance. And so far as the main is concerned, only one element of that main course needs to be done on the spot at the very last moment. Everything else just needs to be warmed up or stirred or have a little zhuzhing happen to it, but I keep it really simple. I want everyone to think it's fine. The food is fine. If they wanted a Michelin meal, maybe they need to go to a different restaurant on the night, not to my table. My table will be fresh and simple, and that's that. You might be wondering who I turn to find those simple, fresh recipes that never fail. Garten, the Barefoot Contessa. I swear by her cookbooks. I probably own all of them. She is my first port of call whenever I'm looking for a recipe. She does such a beautiful job writing the recipes. They're clear as they can be. And I also believe she does a beautiful job testing them. I have so much confidence in her recipes that I have even been so bold as to make a recipe for the very first time on the evening of a dinner party without practicing in advance. For me, Garten is fail-safe. I believe anyone that wants to learn about cooking, learn about entertaining, should start with Barefoot Contessa. Every single cookbook is fantastic. She tends to categorize them by subject matter, so some are from Paris and some are family meals and some are particularly recipes you can make in advance. Love that cookbook. I'll link some of my favorite cookbooks down below of hers, but I am a huge fan. I love everything she does. She is my hero. Tip number 10 is don't forget about the guest room. Make it pretty as well. At some stage during the evening, at least one of your guests will go to your guest bathroom. And you want the 3 minutes they're going to be spending in that little space all by themselves, looking around, to be a pretty, inviting, welcoming space. I have a very dear friend who collects little linen towels. So when you go to her bathroom, her guest bathroom, you take one of those linen towels to dry your hands, and she has a beautiful basket. You pop that linen towel into the basket. It's just such a lovely, thoughtful, I always think, yes, my darling friend has thought of everything. And I am sure whatever it is you want to do in your guest bathroom, whether it's light a candle or have a lovely, refreshing bowl of potpourri, whatever it is that you love, something to make your guests feel special while they're there for just a few minutes all by themselves with nothing to do but to look around. My final tip is invite someone to help you during the evening. Now, in my case, it's my husband. Most of the time he remembers that his job is to fill the water glasses, fill the wine glasses, make sure that everyone's having a good time. But if a husband or a partner isn't in your life at the moment, ask a lovely friend if they wouldn't mind helping out, whether that's refilling glasses, as I suggested, or clearing plates, bringing them to you in your kitchen. It's just so lovely to have a partner in crime on the night, to know that there's that person you could ask to help you out, to be there to give you a smile when things are going really well. It's lovely to have that special friend to share the creation of what I'm sure is going to be a beautiful evening for you. That's it for me. I hope you found at least one of these tips useful, maybe something you hadn't thought of before. I certainly hope so. I hope you're all well. Thank you so much for giving me your time to listen to this video. I always appreciate the time that you give us. Get up, get dressed, be happy. I can't wait to see you next time.